started. Cool. Volume's good. All right. We'll start sitting. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And breathing out tension and worries. And again. As you breathe in, you can bring in some energy, wake yourself up. As you breathe out, tension, worries, frustrations, you're able to soften the shoulders and settle into the present moment. And just lightly close your eyes when you feel a little bit more settled. Relaxing the face and the jaw. And then squeezing the pelvic floor, lifting up through the lower belly, growing tall from the base of your pelvis and spine. Chest lifting slightly. And then just see which way your head might want to drop. Ear over shoulder. You can do either way. Let it hang, shoulders resting. And then rolling forward through the front. Try over to the other side. And rest with gravity. Shoulders dropping. And then back, forward. Draw belly in towards the spine as you reach forward and round. And then lifting the heart, arch your back and reach back, heart forward. And one more of each. And then we're going to press the arms behind you into the floor. So depending how close you are to the floor, or whether you're sitting on heels or cross-legged, you might be just reaching down towards the floor. You might touch with tented up hands or palms, but keep the shoulders dropping and the heart lifting. Good. And then reach forward and around. Give yourself a hug. Just rounding the upper back and a little playful movement. Welcome. We just started a few minutes ago. And as with any yoga class, you can just follow your intuition, modify things as needed. And we're going to sit now on a blanket, if you have one, and with your legs straight out in front. And just do some openers for the legs and hips. Legs straight out in front. And speaker view should work. Sometimes you have to go on my image and do pin video. And so you can bring the sitting bones back, wiggle out the toes, maybe circling through the ankles a few times. Good. And then we're going to take just the right leg and we're going to bend it in and stretch it out several times, just lubricating the knee joint. If you might still lift up through the pelvic floor and lower belly to keep yourself tall and balanced. as you just do that right knee bend and release. Couple more. Good. And then we're going to keep it bent next time, foot to the floor. And we're first going to do the easy twist, drawing the belly in and away to the left. And just take that arm along the inner knee. Reach the left arm back behind you, arms in opposition as you revolve belly over to the left. And then that hand on the left hand can come to the floor, maybe a little bit further as you draw that left shoulder back and look over it. Good. As you face forward again, we're going to take right hand on the arch of the foot. Draw that knee back next to the armpit. And then we're just going to straighten to your sweet spot so you get some stretch through the calf and the hamstring. You can just hold at just the right amount of bend, just the right amount towards your torso so you get a good stretch. Great. And then we're going to take that ankle onto the other thigh, shake out the hands behind you, and then bend. So you're getting a stretch through the right hip and buttock on the right leg that's closer to you. It's nice for this kind of stretch if you flex the foot, toes towards the shin. It just protects the ankle joints, keeps it more aligned. And maybe a little side to side might feel good within that hip stretch. Great. And then we'll come back to our straight-legged position that we started in. Wiggle out the toes again, sitting up tall. And then we're going to do that squeeze of the pelvic floor, lift the lower belly, and we'll do the left leg. Bending in and straightening it out. Just nice and slow, several times. Good. And then we'll keep it bent in next time, foot to the floor, sitting up tall. And we're going to draw the belly in and to the right. First, stay upright, right arm reaching to the wall behind you. Left arm along that inner left knee. Then, as you put the right hand down, you can revolve more. Look back and over that right shoulder. Great. As you unwind, left hand onto the arch of that left foot. Knee, you're going to draw back next to the armpit. And then slowly straighten to your sweet spot. So you get some nice, just the right amount of stretch. Calf and hamstring. Great. And then you can place that ankle onto the right thigh. Give that hand a shake. That was just holding on. And we'll do our arms behind as you bend. The other knee, that you can come in as close as you want, torso and legs, to get just the right amount of hip stretch through the left hip. Maybe you want to come in super tight. Maybe you don't need that much. Hold or do a little bit of rocking, side to side. Excellent. And then once you release that stretch, you're going to come onto the floor. No blanket for now. And drop your knees over to your left. Knees to your left, so you're on the left hip. All you're going to do is walk your hands from the floor next to that left leg over to the left into a twist. Belly draws in towards the spine, over to the left, and ease into that twist. And legs are just kind of, resting wherever they end up. They don't have to be totally stacked. Take that twist as far as you want. You can look back into the left. You could also take the right arm and reach it over. Very good. And then we're going to come onto that left elbow. Come on down. And we're going to massage around the left buttocks using the floor. So if your feet are off the ground and you just wait, put all your weight into the left hip area, you can rock to the side, back closer towards the buttocks, right next to that sacrum bone, the big bone over the tailbone. Maybe you can shimmy and see if you can find any tight spots in there. And it was just an invitation to get the blood flow going in there using compression from the floor. Good. Good. And then as you come back down with the legs, you're just propped up, left elbow and shoulder under the ear, pushing down. Good. And we're going to take the top leg, lift it up, and we're going to do knee to knee where the heel comes up, and then heel to heel where the knee goes up. And you're just going to alternate. So it's a rotation from the hip joint. Internal rotation and external rotation. Trying to keep those hips stacked. Okay. And one more of each. Good. And then as you place that leg back down, just try lifting both feet up as you roll the hip forward. And now you get a massage of the IT band, an outer hip. Feet up as you roll forward, and then back where you were. Just do that a couple more times. This little massage for the outer leg and hip. Good. Awesome. Shake out that arm once you come up. And then we'll bring our knees up and over to your right and do that twist the other way. So you're on the right hip now, knees over to the right, and you're going to twist to the right. Belly draws in and over. Hands walking over to your sweet spot. You could look over that right shoulder, or also you could take the left arm and reach over and towards that twist as well. Couple deep breaths. Very good. And then once you unwind, we're going to do that hip massage. You'll come onto that right elbow, elbow and shoulder under the ear, and we're going to lift those legs up. This arm can be wherever you want, behind you on the floor, up in the air, whatever works. And we're just doing that playful endeavor to see if you can find any tight spots in the right buttocks or the SI joint, the sacrum bone. There's a lot of attachments for those different butt muscles and hip rotators. If you find a tight area, maybe you just stay there or a little shimmy. Great. And then we're going to come back, just drop the legs. Knees are bent and stacked, and we're going to do those hip rotations. So you can lift up the leg and draw knee to knee as the foot comes up. and then heel to heel as the knee comes up. And you're just going to alternate internal rotation and external rotation. A few times slowly. Great. And one more. Excellent. And then as you drop the legs back together, you're going to lift the feet up as a unit as you roll that top hip forward. And now we're massaging that outer hip on this side, the IT band area. Feet come up as you roll the top hip forward and then back where you are. Good, let's do one more. Very good. All right, and then just give that right arm and shoulder a shake out. And we're going to come onto hands and knees. And we'll do our nice spinal movements, cat-cow. They always feel really good. So if you round and dome the back like an angry cat, you can stretch out all those spinal muscles. Tailbone and sitting bones down, shake out the head, let it hang. And then the dropped belly position, or cow, stretches out the front of the torso. You can draw the heart forward, shoulders back, lifting the sitting bones and the tailbone. Let's do one more of each. Good. And then come to that middle zone between the two extremes. Flat back. And just take the left foot back for a little calf stretch. And either with palms down or tented up hands. Feels nice if you want your wrists more aligned, you can do that position. And we're just going to roll through that left foot, going forward and back. A little bit of calf engagement, and then you stretch it out. And last one. Good. Now we're going to take the left foot right next to the other leg, like so, and sit back. And this gives us a deeper calf stretch through the left calf. The heel might not come down. We all have different Achilles and calf capability. Some we're born with, some we can change with practice. You might do some slight rocking forward and back. You open through that deeper calf and Achilles. Okay. And then come right back where we were. Left leg, stretch it out back. And then we're going to drop onto the right elbow. So you're on right elbow and left hand. Take that left leg up. Bend it. Get a little stretch through the thigh in the front. And then you can bring it over to the opposite side. If you need to, you can walk your right elbow more to the right for balance. And you're opening that whole front hip and thigh. Good. Excellent. Back to hands and knees. We'll take the right leg back. And you can either do the tented up hands or palms as we roll forward and back through that right foot. Good, last one, and then we're going to take that right foot next to the other lower leg and sit back to your sweet spot. I know this is hard for some people's knees. They don't like to flex fully. But again, you might just do some gentle rocking forward and back. If it's impossible to sit on the heels, this one that we did earlier with the knee bent next to the armpit gets some of that deep calf as well. If you're pulling the ball of the foot back, that's another option if it hurts to sit on your heels, like so. Deep breath. And then when you're ready, we'll meet back with the right leg straight back. Now this time we're going to drop onto the left elbow. Left elbow and right hand. Lift that right leg up, and then you can bend it and over to the opposite side. Great. Excellent. And then back to hands and knees. Spread out the fingers like starfish. Smush into the palms. Shoulders drawing back. Look between your hands for a moment, and as you lengthen crown of the head forward, try one ear going forward and then the other. Kind of lengthening your head and neck like a turtle out of the torso. Shoulders back again. And then curling the toes under, we'll push back and up to downward dog. Straighten the spine first. So bend the knees and lift the sitting bones up. As you draw heart towards the lower leg, belly between the thighs, and then heels up and down a few times. Good. And then as you release, we're going to do child's pose or heart melting pose, also known as downward puppy. So if your hips don't want to go all the way back to the heels and they want to stay over, hips over the knees, you can still lengthen the torso and descend the heart and the forehead. For a child's pose, you're pushing the hips back over the heels, then descending the heart and the forehead. Good. And then walk both hands over to the left. And you're going to just really pin that right hip back. Draw the outer right hip back. As you reach to the left, so you're lengthening the whole right side. Good. As you come back to center, try reaching back. Chin towards the chest a little bit to just release any shoulder tension. And then squeeze and lift up through the pelvic floor and lower belly. And we'll lengthen out and go over to the right with your reach. Hands and arms over to the right side. Pin that outer left hip back. So you're lengthening that whole left side. Deep breaths. Good, and then you can again at center try reaching back or a little rabbit if you want to draw head towards the space between the knees, lift the hips as you hold the heels, rabbit. It doesn't have to be extreme, but it can feel nice if the back muscles get tight to round. Good. Gently release, and you can use downward dog to come to standing. So as you spread out the fingers again to starfish hands, shoulders back, you can check out some spine lengthening in downward dog. And then slowly walk your hands back to your feet, shake it out. And then you can gently roll up, and we'll do our standing portion. Good. Yes, come on up to the front of your space. Very good. And we're going to just take our hip distance feet, squeeze and lift the kneecaps. Front thighs lifting up the kneecaps. And a low reach of the arms. Shoulders down, lengthening the arms. Now reaching back, try some pulses, palms towards each other. Good. And then resting the arms, just right arm, forward and back. Just a gentle swing. And then forward and up. Can you soften the top of that right shoulder? And then reaching up and overhead. Lengthen that right side body. And inhale up, release, shake it out. Then the left arm, that gentle swinging. The lower circle, forward and back. And then forward and up. Straight, strong legs, reach up and overhead. Breathe. And inhaling back up, release. Shake it out. Good. So we're going to warm up the thighs a little bit with some strengthening. So you're going to have a seat like you're about to sit in that high stool and palms together. Now we're going to do a little series, so follow along with me. We're going to be at just the right depth for your kneecaps, because we are going to be reaching the right leg to a few different places. So if you're too deep in a bend and it hurts the left kneecap, then just don't go quite as deep, okay? Just kind of a skiing position. What you're going to do is right leg is going to go out to the side and back, diagonal, back to the diagonal and back, and straight back. And then we're going to slowly bring it up in front. Okay, so that's going to be our series. So come back to your little hover of the seat. We'll try that slow with the left leg. And then we'll do that a few times for each. Okay, so left leg out to the side and back. A back diagonal and back. Straight behind you, tap and back. And then straighten up as you lift the left knee. Great. So let's going to do that again. Have that seat. Lift up through the lower belly. And right leg taps out to the side and back in. To a back diagonal. Back in. And straight behind you, tap. Back in. And slowly straighten. Squeeze that left thigh as you lift the right knee. Wobbling is good, by the way, because it's good for the brain, and it's asking our body to recruit a lot of different muscles, a lot of different muscle fibers that would otherwise just be lazy. Back down to your hover. Left foot tapping out to the side and back in. Back diagonal. And back in. Straight back, tap, back in. And then you're just going to squeeze the right standing leg as you lift the left knee up and hold. Good. Awesome. Give your legs a few kicks just to shake them out. And then we're going to do one more thing along the same vein of strengthening before we move on. So this one, once you come to your hover, just the right amount, hovering above that high stool, we're going to do a tap out with the right, and then we're going to come in, ankle next to the other knee. So just try that a few times. If hands at the heart doesn't work, you could have your arms out to the sides or holding on to something if need be. So right leg out, and then foot to the inner knee. Out, foot to the inner knee. Still squeezing the pelvic floor, lifting the lower belly. Good, and then we're going to hold it in. Now we're trying to keep that standing leg from wobbling side to side. It's hard. And we're going to see if we can straighten and back to that baby bend. Might be wobbling, but just try to keep it in midline. Again, straighten and bend. Last one. Straighten and release. Shake them out or kick them out. Good, and then we'll try that with the left, of course. So that hover above the high stool, either hands together or out to the side. Now we're doing left leg tap to the side, foot next to the knee. Tap to the side, foot next to the knee. A few more. Deep breath. One more. And hold. Now we're going to try to keep that standing leg in midline, even though it might wobble as you straighten up and bend. Just to your sweet spot. Straighten up and bend. And again. And last one. Good. Release and breathe. Nice. All right. So we're going to do our slow sun salutations. They're not too vigorous. The first round, we'll just step in and out of our lunges with the right foot, and I'll cue you. So palms together. Crown of the head lifting. Straight, strong leg. Really squeeze the leg muscles around the leg bones. Relax your jaw, your face, and go for it. Inhale up, lengthen up tall, and then dive it down. Swan dive to your forward bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend the knees and take your right foot back to that low lunge. Meaning that left knee is right over the left ankle. Good. Can you just hold that steady as you bring the left hand behind the hips? It's a twist to the left. Belly draws in and up on the left side. If the shoulders stack and you want to reach up, go for it. Good. And then as you drop that hand, we're going to turn to the right and stand it up. So right heel comes down. And we're going to lunge that left knee towards the pinky toe side. Good. Now, what I want you to do is make sure your shoulders are right over your hips and do a reach of the right fingers, kind of like jazz hands, spread open hand, right hand towards the right heel. Just that will give you a stretch through the left side body, and then if you want to, you can reach up and overhead. So right arm is strongly reaching to the right heel, other arm up and overhead. Good. And then you can windmill down back to the low lunge where we were, around that left foot. Good. Step back, plank. Deep breath. We're going to do right elbow down, then left elbow to forearm plank. and lowering the hips. This is called Sphinx, elbows and shoulders right into the ears. Just a bit of a belly stretch. And then we're going to try bending the knees, heels draw towards the buttocks. Bit of a front thigh stretch. And then as you release the feet, we're going to squeeze the buttocks, draw belly up towards the spine. Legs come up as you reach back, locust. So it is a nice opening of the front body if you've been sitting a lot. But if the back body gets tired at any point, then just rest. Forehead onto stacked hands or a hand pillow. And then you can just breathe out fully, softening as you exhale. The power of the exhalation is huge. Helps us to soften and signal the nervous system to rest, digest, and heal things. Now we're going to lift the head up, hands next to the ribs. Curling the toes under, we're coming through plank to downward dog. Where you can bend the knees and lift the sitting bones way up as if you could sit on the ceiling, reaching them upwards. And then when you're ready, it's going to be right foot stepping up towards the front to get that ankle under the knee, that other side lunge. Good. Now we're going to be doing right hand behind the hips to twist the other way. So belly lifts in and up on the right side. And if shoulders stacked, you could reach up. Good. And then as you drop that arm, turn the other way and stand it up. We'll do those warrior two legs, where you're just starting with the lunge of the right knee to the right, towards the pinky toe side. How much do your knees and your hip allow? How low can you go on this one? Left leg is straight and strong. Now we're doing a spread out left hand or jazz hand, reaching left hand to the left heel, starting that side body stretch. And then if you want to reach the other arm up and over, hold that reverse warrior. And then back to the low lunge around that right foot. Step up, feet together. Extend the spine. And release. Woo. Now, hinging up is more traditional, but you could roll up through the spine if you prefer. All right. And then just see if you can release any tension or gripping. Soften for a moment. I like the floppy arm twist. Good. And then we're going to do one more round of sun salutations, leading with the left foot in and out of the lunges. All right. Go ahead and come on back to that Tadasana, or basic standing, which is really straight, strong legs, like a palm tree trunk rooting down together. And the upper body is growing tall like a tree, able to still move with the breeze comes along, not too rigid in the upper body. And palms together. Nice sigh. And next inhalation, reach it up. And exhale down. Inhale, extend. As you release, bend the knees and take the left foot back to that low lunge. Good. And then what we're going to do is see if we can come up to our high lunge. If that doesn't hurt the ball of the foot, the heel's lifted. But you could shorten the stance so it's not too deep of a stretch for you. And balance. Swing those arms forward and up, crescent pose. Good. And then as you reach the arms back, we're going to come onto that right foot. And we're going to see about taking that left heel to the buttocks and holding that thigh stretch. You could just stay here, or you could go to the inner ankle if you want more opening. You could always hold on to a chair, or I have a bed right here, or reach up and balance. And if you want to kick back towards dancer's pose, that's an option. And then you can stretch that leg back again. Rest and back down, low lunge. Good. Step back to your plank. Left elbow down, then right, forearm plank. Now this time, as soon as you drop the hips, reach back, lift the legs, locust. If you want to reach one arm back at a time, that might feel good, a slight rock. And then rest the back body by giving yourself that hand pillow, stacked hands under the forehead. Whew. And a nice deep breath. Relax through the buttocks and the back. Excellent. Come to your baby cobra, palms next to the ribs, shoulders back, head lengthening out like a turtle again. And then we're pushing up through plank to downward dog. Bent knees, not locked knees, to lengthen the spine. Deep breaths. Woo. And then you can bend both knees, look ahead, left foot steps up to the front. So you want that left ankle under the knee. Good. Now, you can decide if you need to bring your feet a little closer together. We're lifting the torso up, keeping the legs the same, heel up and back. If that's too long of a stance, just shorten your feet a little bit together, high lunge or upright lunge, and arms can come up for crescent pose. Good. Now, as you rest the arms, you're stepping onto the front foot, lifting the right heel up and back. You can grab the outer ankle or the inner ankle, gives more shoulder opening. You could stay there, or dancer's pose if you want to kick the foot back. That's an option. And hold on to something if need be. Woo. Right foot back. One last low lunge, shimmy down. And now we're just completing our round, stepping the right foot up next to the left. Extend the spine, shake it out. I'll show you a roll up if you prefer. Either hinge or roll up. Very good. And rest. Let everything rest. Good. And then we're going to come back down on our backs on the floor and do just a little bit of some abdominal work and some gentle twists. On your backs, knees bent. So, go ahead and take your arms out to the sides, palms up. Soften here. We're just going to reach the feet and the hands up to the sky and just do some movement through the hands and the feet. Just kind of thinking about draining the blood coming back to the heart, aiding circulation. Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep that pelvic floor squeezing like you're holding in the P. And we're going to do the arms reaching away from your head as you draw knees towards the head, lifting the hips off the floor a little bit. And then you're going to stretch out the arms and the legs the other way. Now, to make it easier, you stay higher. To make it harder, you go lower. So we're going to go between those two. Knees towards the face as you reach away. Breathe as needed. And maybe you just want to have hands supporting the head if it bothers your neck. And just do elbows down and forward. Another option. Good. And then just rest. And we're going to have everyone clasp your hands behind your head if your shoulders allow. Rest the head down in the hands. And what we'll do is we'll draw the knees to the right, trying to keep the left elbow on the floor. So you end up getting a stretch through the left pec and chest and armpit. Knees to the right, left elbow on the floor. Top knee could go further over, depending how you feel. Through the spine and hip, the pecs. Deep breath. And then stay here, remove the hands, and just lengthen out that left arm. Reach away from the knees. Deep breath. Full exhalation. Helps you to soften and rest. Great. And then we'll do that on the other side. So hands are going to go behind your head again. Knees are straight up, and then they're going over to the left. And I'm holding that right elbow to the floor as the knees drop to the left. Top knee could go further over if you want, depending how it feels. See your sweet spot. You can look over towards the elbow. And when you're ready, remove the hands and stretch out, especially that right hand and arm, away from the knees. Soften as you exhale. Very good. And then whenever that's enough, we'll come back to center, hug your knees in, releasing that lower back area. Excellent. And then we're going to put the feet back to the floor. And we're going to massage the upper back on the floor. So you're lifting the hips up, the arms up, so the weight goes into that area between the shoulder blades. And you can rock your weight from side to side. And this, just like we did the hips earlier on the floor, this invites the blood flow. Smushing out some tight spots. Resting when that's enough. Good. And then if there's anything else your body wants to do, go for it. And then we'll rest in Shavasana once you get comfortable. Maybe a happy baby. And typically the traditional Shavasana or corpse pose is just palms up, flat on the back. You might release the shoulder blades towards the hips to flatten your upper back on the floor. Maybe that works. Maybe you need a little bit of support with the blanket somewhere, or even legs up against the wall, or lower legs on a chair. Might be nice for the lower back and options. But find a comfortable way to rest and surrender to gravity. Softening and softening some more with every exhalation. Find a comfortable Shavasana to rest. Just rest the whole face so you can totally unclench the jaw. However you're laying, soften with gravity. As you rest, remind yourself of your strength and resilience. Our bodies are super smart and strong, always working on fixing things, even when our focus is elsewhere, outside of ourselves. Softening with gravity. We still have several minutes to rest, and I'm going to read you a quote while you rest from a Markova. And this is a good one when you're surrounded by fear, whether it's your own or others. I will not live an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as a seed goes to the next as a blossom, and that which came to me as a blossom goes on as fruit. So even these days, how can we live our lives more fully and not living in fear? Focusing on some self-care, like this class today, and focusing on helping others, or both. And then with a nice deep breath back in through the nose, think about breathing in both calm and power, the ideal combination. Calm and power for the rest of the day. You might want to wiggle your fingers and toes as you slowly invite movement back. And then you can bend the knees when you're ready to roll to either side. Rest on your side in the fetal position for several breaths. And give yourself some love. And one of my favorite Rumi quotes, both for ourselves and others, is listen with ears of tolerance, see through eyes of compassion, and speak with the language of love. That's a lovely goal for all of us, for ourselves and others. And you can slowly, when you're ready to come up from that side lying position, just slowly push yourself back up. And we'll close out class for today. Unless you have time and you want to keep resting. It's always good too. So I'm going to stop my recording. I was recording it for someone. And I really appreciate you all being here. And namaste. Great. So you guys let me know if you have any questions anytime. And next week I'm doing the Monday class, which will be focusing on our third eye or spiritual eye in yoga for the chakras, same time. And Wednesday, same time, right here. All right. Bye, Mari. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Lee. And Lee, I think you signed up through UNM. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me as well.